Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this video, I'm doing a Q&A video from Discord. So thank you so much for posting all of your questions. I really do appreciate you guys posting questions in there every single week. I do these Q&As every single Wednesday. Sometimes I'm off and I'll post it like a Thursday or even a Sunday. But for the most part, it is every single Wednesday. And especially now that we kind of have a routine here going with Dead City premiering right away, I think every Wednesday makes a lot of sense. I'll answer your guys' questions about the following episode. So say for next week, episode 1's premiering that Thursday. My Q&A will premiere Wednesday. I'll do a bunch of questions about episode 1, and then the week after, it'll be about episode 2. Or I likely will add in some episode 1 questions if you guys still have some questions about that, but I think that's sort of how we'll do it going forward here. So if you do want to take part in these Q&As, definitely make sure to go follow the Discord. The link for the Discord should be in the description for this video, so definitely go give me a follow whenever I ask for questions and stuff. You'll get notified and stuff, and then there's a channel titled Q&A. Just post your question there, and then whenever I record, I'll eventually get to it. So yeah, I'm excited. So obviously, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all of my Walking Dead content like this. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, definitely go do so. The channel name is Appetite for the Dead. I'll probably be streaming later on today. I don't know what game, but I'm going to be streaming something there. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. But to get into the first question here, so Q&A. Are we going to see Maggie leaving Hilltop, or is the show starting with Maggie on the road right at the beginning? Personally for me, I have a hard time believing that Maggie's just going to be at the Hilltop and we're going to see that in the first episode. I think it would be so nice. It would feel so cool to see her just like leaving the Hilltop. I just have a hard time believing that. And the reason why is because that's such a big thing to do to like rebuild that set. So I just don't necessarily see them doing it unless maybe they filmed some stuff before they took it down kind of thing, right? Like, do I ever see the Hilltop being rebuilt again? Yeah, of course. They're going to do something like that. Like, they're eventually going to go back to those places. Those sets will be rebuilt again. It's just right now, I don't know. So if I had to place a guess on this, I would have to say it's likely Maggie just starting out on the road. That's kind of how I see it. Or maybe she's in the Commonwealth. Like, maybe we see some Commonwealth stuff. But I think for the most part, that's probably what it's going to be. Q&A, what do you think about the whole idea of a cure and the more focus on the virus lore part of The Walking Dead being the end game for The Walking Dead and the thread that connects most of the spinoffs? Honestly, I feel it was better when there was a more focus on the story of the outbreak / what caused the disease rather than an actual cure. I want them to do both. Like, I really do want them to try and find a cure, and just like that storyline there is always exciting. But yeah, like trying to figure out like what caused all of this could also be a lot of fun. I remember a long time ago Scott Gimple saying something like, the Rick Grimes movie trilogy is going to focus on the backstory of the apocalypse or something like that. I'm paraphrasing there, and I don't even know if he exactly said that. Like, it was something similar to that. I remember that being the description. I don't know if that was like the description to World Beyond, but I'm pretty sure it was about the Rick movie trilogy because I remember being pretty excited about it. Like, I was actually very hyped to see, for us fans and just for the story in general. That's the next logical place that you can go, especially in the Rick and Michonne TV show, right? Because you're dealing with the CRM, which was formed by the US government practically in the very beginning, like very early days of the apocalypse, the CRM were formed. I think it makes a lot of sense to do that. So I think that is probably going to be the main storyline we focus on. I feel like is like what caused everything here. Major General Beale probably knows a lot more to that. In terms of cure stuff, again, I think some of the smaller shows or like shows like Fear, World Beyond did it before. I think they'll focus more on that. With the CRM, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Q&A, do you think it's possible that we could get a part 2 to Here's Negan in Dead City? Yeah, totally. Obviously, anything's possible with that storyline. I just don't know if we're necessarily going to get that, because I think a lot of what could happen there is just stuff that they might actually overall explain in the show, right? So all we have to really see left in terms of that story is like, how did Negan meet Dwight and Sherry? How did that relationship form? And how did he become the leader of the Saviors? How did he actually, do all of that? How did he meet Simon? There's a lot of that, right? I think that's stuff that you can actually just do here on the show, because the rumor is this new villain, the Croat, if I'm saying that right, he has apparently some connections to Negan Maggie says in the trailer, you know him. You know, to me, that means savior related. And so there could be some more explanations through that. I think of Dwight and Sherry, like after Fear ends, if Dwight and Sherry end up on that show, on Dead City, they might know the Crow 8 too as well. So there's some interesting stuff here. There's honestly some interesting connections that are being made that I prefer that, I think, over having an episode just titled like, Here's Negan Part 2, because I think you can take elements from the ending to that comic book story anyways, and just like have it here on Dead City. Q&A, do you think the Liberty statue is actually on the mainland like in the poster, or is it just for promotional purposes? If it's actually on the mainland, do you think it could be because New York was bombed like Atlanta and Los Angeles? I actually think that's what it is. I think for promotional purposes, they're showing us that. I actually think we're probably going to see it, though, in, I don't know what episode 1 or 2. I don't think it's for promotional purposes entirely. I do think, you know, we heard what happened to New York. You know, everything there got bombed for the most part. And, well, the bridges were bombed anyways, and who knows what else. Like, no one could escape. No one could leave. I could totally see something like that happening. So, yeah, I'm down for that. I think that'd be really cool. Just because of the visuals, right? Like, I think it would look super cool. Q&A, with the new news on social media from Lenny James, do you think that Duane Jones turned into a walker back when Morgan saw red, or did he survive and turn later? I guess my opinion on this is probably that he turned already and Morgan was there. Because Morgan didn't even remember where he put Duane. He didn't even know that he, like, you know, chained him up in the attic. He didn't know any of that. Like, it was all a surprise to him. So I would have to say that that's probably what he did. And yeah, I can't believe he just completely blocked that out. But I believe it. It's believable that something that crazy, when you're not in your own mindset, and it's so tragic and sad. Your world is breaking all around you. It's shattering around you or whatever. And it makes so much sense that you would block out something like that. So I'm not surprised by that. You know, for him to come up to the attic and see Duane there and just be like, oh, right, now I remember. Because Morgan's face during that scene, like, he was so horrified. Honestly, really crazy stuff. Which I also want to add, before we get into the last question here of the video, I do actually want to add, apparently the actor who played Duane Jones in season 1 came back to replay Duane Jones here in this episode. And that's according to Lenny James. And I saw it somewhere on Twitter. I'm shocked by that because Duane Jones was a kid and it's been 13 years. So like, he's easily in his 20s now, mid 20s or something like that at least. So maybe it's CGI. I mean, the thing is, if you're actually looking at Duane, like, he does have a walker bite on his face. And, you know, I think you can sort of just get away with it like that. In terms of everything else, I mean, yeah, I guess it would just have to be sort of CGI for that scene. And the lighting and stuff, I think it did look like, or it was set up in a way where I think you could pull off something with CGI to make him look a lot smaller. But I think it's cool just in general that they actually had this happen. Like, for it, I mean, if it's true anyways, for the actor who plays Duane Jones to actually come back and play Duane Jones with Lenny James, you know, who plays Morgan Jones, just epic. In the same area too, the same house, like, it's just really crazy. Honestly, I will probably go back and rewatch that episode if that does end up being the case, if they actually did bring Jenny back as well, because I've heard some rumors about that they actually brought the actress who plays Jenny, they brought her back as well. Last question here, Q&A. By the time this makes it into the video, I watched episodes 3 and 4, and I saw them saying Sergeant Brenner. Is that a coincidence, or is that the same Brenner for The Walking Dead? It can't be, right? I think you're thinking of Jenner for The Walking Dead. Sergeant Brenner, I'm not entirely sure who that is, but no, if you're thinking about the doctor in The Walking Dead, his name was Dr. Jenner. Yeah, overall though, I'm very excited for this next like week or two. I want to see where they're going to end things with Fear the Walking Dead. I want to know if there's going to be some deaths. I really feel like Grace is going to die. I don't think they're going to kill Mo off or Finch. Dwight and Sherry, I think, are safe. June is safe. I think a lot of characters, for the most part, are safe for now. I think, if anything, we're going to see Strand for the first time in episode 6, most likely, along with Luciana. We'll find out the fate of Charlie. And then I think Grace likely dies. And then just what happens to Morgan at that point, right? So we're going to have to wait and see where this goes. But it's looking to be something that I think, honestly, could be a great next arc here and a great way to end Fear the Walking Dead. Focus on Morgan's family. Focus on his, big story, focus on Madison's big story that she has and her family stuff. I think if you focus on those two elements there, it's going to be a success. If you focus on ending Padre and defeating this new threat, it's not going to be the most exciting. So obviously for the first half of the season, you've got to focus on that. But by the second half, I hope that the shift in the story is well, I hope there is a shift anyways. I hope they do change it up here a little bit. But I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.